What is going on, peeps? Welcome to another edition of Throwback Stories. Stories from the Hood Edition. Now, I believe we're at like episode 7, which means we've only got like 3 episodes left. And there's a few consistent things I'm being asked about these stories is what happened to all these people? Do I still talk to them? Are they still part of my life? And then there's been a few other things I've been asked, such as these stories aren't as hood as we thought. I will address that first. Now, first off, completely transparent with you guys. Despite being 6'2", very strong, workout most since I was 16 on and off, but I've always been a very strong person. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. I am a charismatic, awesome dude. I don't need to fight. Any scenario I was could have resulted in violence. I use my personality and charm to get myself out of it. In fact, the entire time throughout this hood era that I'm telling these stories about, I literally never got in a fight. As I told you guys, I did not have the use of my right arm, and I'm not an idiot. I was not going to do anything to put myself at risk of hindering the healing of my arm. So I was not a fighter. I was a lover. I was not in the hood to be a badass. I was not in the hood to sell drugs. I was not in the hood to commit crimes. I was in the hood to hook up with hood girls. And I did. Eventually. To talk about the people who I've mentioned in the stories, um, let's go through them. Now, Lita, I have not heard from in years. From what I've heard, she has a few kids. She might be married. I don't know. When was the last time I saw Lita? Um, a long time ago, actually. Probably around when I was 24, 25, so 4 or 5 years after I met her. We went and celebrated New Year together. You could actually see those pictures. We kind of lost touch, never saw each other again. I don't think there's actually no bad blood or anything. It was just like, we kind of just went our different directions in life, if you will. Um, that girl, um, that's a whole other story. Technically, she was part of my life up until a year ago, but then she did some things that were very unforgivable, and I will not talk to her ever again. I have a deep fear of heights. She locked me on the balcony for half an hour. Um, some other things I won't say, but she's no longer a part of my life, and it's probably for the best because we were probably not meant to be part of each other's lives. Well, no matter how things were, whenever we started talking, it always got toxic. There's some times where it almost seemed like a relationship, but it was just ultimately toxic situationships. There's just some people who are just not meant to be part of your life, and I was one of those idiots who tried to hold on longer than I should have. To be perfectly honest, this was the easiest time to walk away. Um, but it just in the past it wasn't. But it just really has nothing to do with each other. G, actually haven't seen G in like 15 years. I don't know. Don't know if he has kids or not, or if he's married. I really don't know. I haven't heard from him in a while. I think randomly one time we ran into each other at a bar and just had a small interaction, and that was about it. I think the last time we actually hung out, so we were by Eaton Center, and there's these two girls we were talking to, and I remember I got pissed off because I wanted to talk to one girl, but then he wanted that girl, so I got stuck with the other girl. So I was just like kind of like more quiet than I should have. But yeah, no real beef there. He's someone I just kind of fall out of. I ran into him again. We'll probably go out for a drink or something. Bob, last time I heard from Bob was during the lockdown. The guy was literally like begging me for money like every day. And it just got to the point where it's just like, we had different paths. Like, we went different paths. Like, me and Kevin hung out for a good while after, but Bob was just very different from us. He kind of, I guess, went through a different journey finding this place. I heard hopefully he's in a much better place. I kind of heard that he was married and he had kids. I don't know. When I talked to him, there was no mention of the kids. So I don't know if he actually did have kids or what. Didn't ask about it. He did mention being married, having a home, but it was just like, you know what? Okay, good for you. You've gone a long way. He had a hard life. He was on the streets a lot. A lot of times when we fell out, it was just because he was on the streets and he didn't have a phone and no one can find him or contact him. We'd go to his parents' house multiple times looking for him and just couldn't find the dude. Just we aren't on talking terms. He's kind of the one when I said, it's because I said you're doing good. Don't call me. Kevin. Now this is there's so much to that. Because we kind of did become friends for a while after the pool hall. It was like was the only one from the pool hall I continued to hang out with. We made money together working in clubs and stuff, doing promotions and stuff. He got me into that company that I was working with for shoppers. But ultimately, things happen and you see people's true colors. We're bachelors most of the time we hung out. And as I said, he was one of those people who didn't have a lot of personality. I guess you could say he had the basketball player look. But I was the cool one, and people would be drawn in by my hair and how my charm, my energy and whatnot. But there was a female who was, I guess you could say, a casual friend of mine with benefits. But that female kind of wanted more from me than what I was willing to give her. So I kind of set her and Kevin up because I noticed they were both lonely. Figured, okay, it'd be ideal for both of them. And I thought I was doing a good thing when I did that. But it's like, I guess all the years I hung out with Kevin, I didn't really know the person. Because when that relationship was going on, eventually I would find out that he was attacking her, and then, I kind of was just like, what the F, and it was just like it was just a one-time thing or something. And there'd be times where she'd like come to my house with bruises, and just like at the time we were getting a night at Pop, it was going to be our night, and it was just like we were always working for other people, so I was trying to fucking make it work. I was bringing people in to work under us and stuff, and just like, the first night was kind of a trial working under someone, so I'm buying up drinks on the bar, trying to make it look good, because we didn't get as many people, because I got there late. But then, the girl's there, and then, I don't know, they had an interaction. Apparently, she told him his breath was bad or something. And then, after she said that, she came up to me. I was at the bar. I was like, you want a drink? So I bought her a drink, and I guess he was pissed off, and then, like at the end of the night, we're leaving the club. And like in my head, I was like, why would this guy be stupid enough to do this in front of me? So then as we're walking up, I'm talking about that was good. Okay, we dropped money, we sold them, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden he grabs her and it looks like he's about to try to slam her on the wall. But as soon as I see that, I quickly grabbed him by his neck. And I choked him out to the point where he let go of her immediately, and I slammed him on the wall. I was like, are you fucking stupid? Why the hell would you be dumb enough to do that in front of me? Like, one thing I make clear to people, there are two types of people I hate in this world. I absolutely hate with a passion in this world. And those are pedophiles and men who hit women aggressively in a demeaning way. I can understand there's certain sexual fetishes, that's kind of a thing, but if anything outside of that, or you're putting your hands on a woman, you are not a man. You're garbage. You are trash. You are literally the lowest form of life that there is in this world. And if you're a pedophile, that's even worse. That's even fucking worse. But anyone who knows me knows that those are two groups of people in this world that I absolutely hate with a passion. And if it was legal, I would hunt them down and I would kill them if it was legal for me to do that. But obviously it's not. And I'm not a bounty hunter. I don't have my bounty hunter license, so I couldn't even take advantage of the few chances I would to do that in that scenario. But seeing someone who said, no, that's my way, attacking a girl in front of me is like, are you freaking stupid? And I held it, and he was like trying to fight back. So I grabbed like both of his hands with one hand, holding him there. And then I was literally about to start beating the shit out of him, and then I see a paddy wagon driving up. And at this point, it's like, I am drunk. I had a bunch of drinks. I see this person who I thought is my friend doing something like despicable like this, in all cases right beside me, embarrassing me. I feel embarrassed by association that this piece of shit is doing this in my vicinity, and that people know that I know this piece of shit at this point. I was about to beat the shit out of him, but the paddy wagon came. My smarter self kicked in, and I had to act like, dude, calm down. You're too drunk. And I just played some bullshit role so that they drove off, because I know if they put you in the paddy wagon, you're sitting in that thing till the morning, handcuffed. I've heard of stories. I would never want to be in one of those things. Knock on wood that I never am. But fortunately, I was able to make it seem like I was a friend, helping a friend, which was really not the case. I wanted to beat this person up. And I was actually verbally saying that. Like, we went and took the night buses back to Scarborough. We both lived in Malvern. And I was literally making it clear to this person what I was going to do to them when we got off the bus. They got off a few stops early and ran away. Like, they literally, like, bolted. No catching up. Them. Girl came home with me that night. But ultimately, it's just, she went back to him. And he kept doing it. And he kept doing it. Got to the point where the guy got arrested and almost got deported out of the country. From what I was told, he fully grabbed the girl on the TTC night bus and dragged her by her hair off the bus and started beating her up outside. Part of me always felt bad because I was the one who introduced. Technically, they both knew each other before me, but I was just like the one that kind of hooked them up. It's like, isn't my fault, because when she wanted out of the situation, she did get out of the situation. But again, I'll say, and it's like, I've had someone tell me, like, well, the girl in question is Chinese, and she kind of saying it was okay. She said, in her culture, it's normal, blah, 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 for guys to be like that. And I was just like, so obviously after that incident, where the thing happened outside of the club, I stopped working in the club industry because he was technically the person who got me into it and got me my connections. So I walked away from that promoting. Finally, it was about to have my own night out of club. It was so frustrating too. But yeah, we don't talk. I think I've ran into him once or twice and I try to be civil. But I definitely would want nothing to do with this person. There's certain things you don't do. And okay, I can give you an excuse. One time, one mistake. But when it becomes a habit, when it becomes a regular thing, when you take someone who's a beautiful person, which that girl was, and I remember she used to dress so awesomely, had such cool hair, do her eyes and do her nails all different every time, and then she just like became such a shell of herself, started dressing so plain and boring. In fact, still does to this day. I hate people who do that to someone. You take someone's sunshine and she had a shine and you took it away from her. You're garbage. It's like the fact that people have to go to that ways to feel that they control a woman. Like, all I've ever had to do is be good in bed. But I don't know. That was enough to make a girl go crazy for me. I never had to friggin' resort to doing things like that. Speaking stern and being a man and being responsible is all I've ever had to do. And admittedly, in the past, I failed at that part, being responsible. That's where I lost one. Now it's kind of, now what helps me now, I've become that type of person. More organized, chaotic perfection, if you will. But yeah, that's essentially what happened with all the characters I've mentioned so far from the pool hall, and there is actually several other people who I've not mentioned yet, who I will tell stories about. But yeah, that is where those people are. That person, Kevin, I think he still works at Shoppers Drug Mart. I'm guessing so. Or I think they actually work in a factory now or something. Like, I don't remember. Don't really care. Probably still hands out flyers. After that deal fell through that we're going through to get that night, he never really got to that point. Maybe he did. I don't know. But not really someone I'd ever affiliate with again. Obvious reasons. Well, peeps, thank you so much for joining me in this edition of Throwback Stories from the Hood. That is what happened to those people. And think of something cool to tell you guys in the next one. Maybe I'll tell you a story of some other people who are part of the pool hall. Well, peeps, stay good, stay hood, and keep it blitz.